A U.S. airstrike in the Afghan city of Kunduz killed at least 19 people at a hospital run by Doctors Without Borders early Saturday, prompting condemnation from humanitarian groups and the United Nations. Doctors Without Borders said 12 Afghan staff members and 7 patients, including 3 children, were killed when its trauma center, quote, was hit several times during a sustained bombing, end quote, shortly after 2 a.m. An additional 37 people, including patients and medical staff, were wounded. All international staff members are alive and uninjured. U.S. Army Colonel Brian Tribus, a spokesman for the U.S. military in Afghanistan, said a U.S. airstrike hit Kunduz city at that hour and, quote, may have resulted in collateral damage to a nearby medical facility, unquote. Doctors Without Borders said, quote, the bombing continued for more than 30 minutes after American and Afghan military officials in Kabul and Washington were first informed about Saturday's airstrike, end quote. Defense Secretary Ash Carter said the U.S. was still trying to determine exactly what happened and a full investigation was underway. The airstrike in the heart of Kunduz indicates that Afghan and Taliban forces are still battling for control of the city. On Thursday, the Kabul government said it had largely recaptured Kunduz after the Taliban effectively controlled it for 3 days. Since the Taliban stormed the city on Monday, the U.S. military has carried out at least 12 airstrikes against the militant group in and around Kunduz city to protect U.S. and Afghan troops and to help the government regain control of the area. Doctors Without Borders specializes in treating war-related injuries and operates the only advanced trauma center in Kunduz and surrounding provinces. The hospital had been at overcapacity since the fight broke out Monday, treating around 400 patients. The airstrike destroyed much of the medical compound, including operating rooms. Parts of the hospital were still in flames hours after the attack, as doctors and nurses performed surgeries in makeshift facilities. Doctors Without Borders treats patients from all backgrounds, including insurgents. According to the Afghan Interior Ministry, Taliban fighters were likely inside the hospital when the airstrike occurred. The Taliban condemned the bombing and denied that its fighters were in the hospital at the time of the attack.